Welcome everybody
to Sonic Lost World. Sorry, I just had to stop that joke.
You really had to ruin it. Ladies and gentlemen,
it's already been ruined.
Welcome to, ladies and gentlemen, to what I like to call New Supersonic Galaxy. So, let's start, I guess.
It's funny, Pedro. A lot of people are calling Sonic Colors that, and it was just as stupid back then, I think.
No. Sonic Colors is a Sonic game that has some Sonic inspired
Oh, I agree.
This game, however, goes too far. But I'll get to that when we get to specific stuff.
Hasn't the Sonic series taken things from the Mario series for years?
I left the title screen in idle so we could check this out. Because one of the things that I'm actually kind of disappointed in Sonic games starting after 06 actually is the fact that there's very little CG cutscenes in Sonic games nowadays.
Wait, you're saying that this is just after 06? I mean, not dissing on the games before that, but I wouldn't exactly say they were CG heavy themselves with the cutscenes.
That's what I said, Jovah. After 06, games stopped having a lot of CG cutscenes. That's what I said.
Are we just gonna ignore Unleashed's amazing opening?
He does have a point,
That opening
Pedro.
is the best thing out of the Sonic franchise.
Exactly. It's the best opening in the entire series. But, yeah. Well, at least up until they turn Sonic into a werehog. That's the part where it officially starts sucking. But that's beside the point.
Am I the only one who didn't complain about the werehog?
I don't mind the character itself. I just hate the poor man's version of God of War gameplay. But that's beside the point.
The werehog wasn't bad. It was just I can see why people
mediocre.
dislike it.
It was mediocre at best. But back to the actual game we're actually playing. I love. And here we go. This is where the story officially. What's in the clouds?
There's a planet right next to Moby.
Tails, what is the Lost Text? How do you know about it? And how come this has never been mentioned before in Sonic lore?
That's something I've always wondered about Tails, because he's a tech wizard. Like, why does he know all this stuff about history and things, like the Babylon Rogues and other such nonsense?
Get used to this, folks, because of all the Sonic stories, this is the most vague. They explain nothing about the Lost Text, how it works, what exactly is it doing here. And what the W6 are. What are the W6? Well, we'll get to that as soon as we hit the second cutscene.
Yes.
So yeah, welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay,
to
now
Green
I'm
Hill
back.
Galaxy.
Okay, so yes, welcome everyone to shoot, I forgot.
Green Hill Galaxy.
Green Hill Galaxy? Nah.
This is Green Hill, Jovah. You can't deny it.
Oh, yes, I
Hill,
agree. Actually, you're right. It is Green Hill Galaxy. Sorry about that, folks. I was sort of talking to my dad here, so I was a bit disoriented upon answering the commentary. Oh, yes, that's right. Have you formally introduced our guest?
Oh, yeah, that's right. We have our special guest here, Apollo Justice from SSMB. Actually, he's right now known as Athena Cykes, but that's beside the point. Introduce yourself, good sir.
Hello, I'm Apollo Justice, or Athena Cykes, I guess. I'm the guy right now, and probably will be for a while. And I just wanted to commentate on Lost World because it's one of the most polarizing games in the franchise, as opposed to people who like it and dislike it.
And on that note, I'm going to say I like this game.
Me too. Love it.
I hate it, but I hate it because not just because I think it's bad, it's incompetently designed, but also because the title could not be more appropriate. Sonic Lost World, because this is a game where Sonic literally lost his own world. Like any sort of identity. I mean, Sonic got where he was because he was intentionally different from Mario. Even if you didn't, for those who didn't like the Boost trilogy, even if you didn't like Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Colors, or even Generations, you have to at least admit that those games were doing something that no other platformer out there was really doing. To so readily throw that away just for the sake of
Sonic Unleashed would like to have a word with you.
Well, that's his opinion. Like, let's face it. The Boost formula was something that was different from any other platformers out there. and now to so readily throw that away for the sake of chasing after Mario's glory. That's just why.
Really,
No.
I really don't see this as a copy of Mario. I mean, yes, okay, the level structure, this particular level structure, is similar to some of the Mario Galaxy titles, but really, I still find this as something unique, and it's still a solid game overall.
We'll get to that as we get to that. The
I
point
don't
is,
actually... Sorry.
hello, ladies and gentlemen, and now we're doing Cloudy Court Galaxy.
Okay,
Enjoy.
Okay, Shiroi, you were about to say something?
No, Apollo was saying something first.
Is this an all-red ring run?
No. Fuck no.
No, Apollo, if I were the one playing... Yeah, that might have been more... That's more so up my alley.
Fuck that noise. Dude, I'm not doing a red ring run. Getting red rings in this game is one of the best ways to reveal how poorly designed this game is, because the game asks you to do so many bullshit things. Even Johnny pointed this out in Brain Scratch content in his review.
I think the only real issue I had with getting the red rings was Lava Mountain Zone 3, which is terrible and should never return ever again, not even in a Generations type game.
I actually don't mind the red. I didn't mind the red rings in Colors and Generations because it was nice to have an incentive to explore the level and unlock stuff by doing it. I liked it, but in here, well, okay. So here's another thing I had to mention. The Wisps are back. Why are they back? Even though they're supposed to be on their own planet?
Yeah,
they're just here.
If I may, yes.
They're back because people like them.
But then Sega had to screw them up by, well, okay, they're better now, but initially when this game was released, motion controls were the norm. And the only way...
I believe that they did it to attract attention from fans who really enjoyed Colors and Wisps. So.
Yeah.
Oh, cutscene.
But, yeah, anyway to go, yes. That is one thing that bothered me, is no explanation for the Wisps. Call me a nitpicker, but come on, would it really be that hard to give in a story
Well, you're not
reason?
being a nitpicker. Allow me to explain why you're not being a nitpicker in there. Because unlike the power-ups in... Izuka's trying to pass off the Wisps as the Sonic equivalent to Mario's power-ups. The problem with that is that unlike the power-ups in Mario, the Wisps actually have a backstory.
Actually, Pedro, just to bring up something, even Mario sometimes has story explanations for why some power-ups return. Granted, that's more so in the RPGs. Oh, Knight's level! But yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I will be tackling the DLC stages, but only in the extras parts.
Okay.
For now, we're moving on with the story.
But yeah, shoot, what was I talking about again? Sorry,
You were talking
the
about
gloriousness of Knights tends to distract me.
You were talking about the Wisps not having any reason to be here.
Oh yeah, that's right, because in Mario's case, there actually was some explanation for power-ups in story.
Oh wait, hold on, Joe, hold on. Hold that spot.
Oh, I love the Deadly Six.
Hello, big generic evil guy that doesn't have any personality whatsoever.
Hey, you know what I love here? Travis Williams plays the Zavok. It's sort of a cool thing. Once again, we have the same
It's such a
voice.
waste of a great actor.
Really? I actually found Zavok cool, but I have to say it's kind of cool once again having Knuckles share the same voice actor with the villain.
This is one thing that I won't give Lost World credit for, which
Ladies
is...
and gentlemen, okay,
Wait,
so these
hold
are
on.
the setting.
Hold on. Let Apollo talk. What were you saying, Apollo?
This is one thing I won't give Lost World credit for, which is the incredibly generic enemies. The Deadly Six as a whole are just really bland. You have generic evil villain leader. You got the emo guy. You have the incredibly obvious woman.
They're not... I get what they're trying to say. They're not characters, they're stereotypes.
Yeah, I can sort of see. I see them as sort of like... I guess they're all one big character who tend to work best in the scenes when they're all together. But yeah, I guess overall, I really love the Deadly Six. It's like, well, sure they may act more like characters, however you pronounce that word. Yeah,
Caricatures.
Yeah, but every scene with them, well, most of the scenes
I would like to point out that I would like to point out that me, a Portuguese person, am teaching someone who's American how to say an English word. I find that to be hilarious. But
yes.
yeah.
But yes, yeah, I actually really love the Deadly Six. They're actually some of my favorite band of villains.
Oh, I love this glitch right here. Hold on, Jovah. See, audio glitch. For some reason, the Wisp music didn't play here. So glad I got this on footage.
Huh, that was And then yeah, I actually really love the Deadly Six, sort of because the character interactions, I'd say, also they're like the first villain other than Eggman and me. They're like some of the first villains who aren't, your generic roaring.
I will agree that I do like some of the early character interactions, but as the game goes on, they start getting bad. But I'll get to that when we get to those specific cutscenes.
I will say I was sort of disappointed with what they did with Xena, based on what the previews and the trailers
my god, seriously? Xena is the kind of character that I like to consider offensive to women, honestly. Yeah. I mean, I know I'm not a woman, so honestly, my wife agrees with me, if that supports my argument. My wife agrees.
I wouldn't exactly call her offensive, but yeah, I am disappointed with how they sort of waste the potential of her.
Xena's pretty borderline.
She's always saying lines like, Don't make me cry, you'll ruin my makeup, or my nails, and what...
I mean,
that's what girls talk all about, right?
I know, I mean, come on, girl, you can swing a giant snowball hammer. Quit arguing about your nails.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would also like to say something. The people who might not have played this game might be asking, wait a minute, who are the Deadly Six? We don't know. They're never explained. We never get any context of who they are, why are they here, like...
They're just there.
We don't get any explanation of what any of this actually is.
I would give this story some credit, though. It's sort of a foreign world that they happen to inhabit, so I guess
that's the main reason why they should explain it. That's exactly my point.
Well,
okay, yeah. Why is there another planet, like the little planet floating on Mobius?
Now that I will agree would...
Even Super Mario 3D World. Even Super Mario 3D World did a better job of explaining the new world. Like,
that was actually what I was going to bring up. It's funny you mentioned that, Pedro. That's actually what I was going to bring up with the power-ups. Because you see, the Super Mario 3D Land and 3D World actually had in-story explanations for some of their power-ups. Believe it or not, a Mario game actually had story explanation for the power-ups. Granted, it was a bit vague, but still, there was story explanation.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm so disappointed with why
there's something wrong. There's something wrong when...
Okay, go.
Yeah, there's something wrong. There's something wrong when a Mario game a Mario platformer starts having better storytelling than Sonic games. That's a problem.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Okay. This level, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the first levels in the game that further accentuates how much this game has a lack of focus. Did you notice how the first two levels were a good, fun mix of speed and platforming? Well, now the game completely slows down to a halt, where you're basically on this cylinder and you're doing really slow, methodical stuff that's not really interesting at all.
Speaking of slowing down to a halt, I don't like the fact that you have to have a run button here. Just like I don't like the fact that in Smash Brothers you have to flick the control stick in order to run at all.
You would prefer a run button in Smash?
No, I'd prefer to just be able to run.
Well, to be fair, Shiroi, in Smash you sort of have... There's some precision needed in Smash, especially with how hectic some of the stages can get in that game.
I know, but when it comes to things like the Smash run, it's not very convenient.
True. Okay.
Oh yeah. Anyway, but yeah,
I can agree with the 3DS version, but when it comes to playing the console version with the GameCube controller, that's not going to be a problem for me because I've been playing Smash for so many years with the GameCube controller. By the way, I apologize for the lack of Wisp music there. That wasn't the game's fault. That was me. I accidentally turned on the volume from my gamepad. So sorry about that.
Anyway, also to bring up. While I do overall love this game, yes, of course, I'm going to bring up some problems I have with it, but, Pedro, are you ever going to show off, the quote-unquote boost of this game? The spin dash?
You mean the spin dash?
While holding it down.
I actually showed off how to do it. Right, that was the very first thing I did. Actually.
Well, I sort of meant like, well, are you ever going to like play the game like while holding down the
ladies
spin
and gentlemen,
dash?
here's an example. See, and here's the first example of how clunky the parkour is. The big problem with the parkour is it's okay, and I'm going to get right, and it's as good of in time to properly explain one of the major problems this game has: the lack of conveyance. Those of us who played, those of us who are even familiar with Gr8's work, have probably heard the term conveyance. Conveyance is when a game explains to you how the mechanics work, so you can properly know how to play the game. This game does not do that. Like,
really? Aren't there question marks all over the place?
But that's the thing, Joe. But
oh wait, that's right. You have to touch them on the WiiU pad.
And that's such a pace
Well,
breaker.
Stupid! I mean, come on. Sonic Colors had question marks that you ran into. What's wrong with that here?
And even then, if you go to the trouble of doing that, the tutorial shit is very vague and doesn't really do a good enough job explaining the intricacies of the parkour system.
I guess with the case
Basically,
of the parkour...
ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I guess with the case of the parkour there, the idea, of course, is that you have to keep momentum up, so you have to switch between them. But, yeah, it would have been nice to have, I don't know, something of a tutorial that's easily accessible for that. And before anyone says, oh, but on the WiiU pad it's totally accessible, hey, let me see you actually try and look down at the WiiU pad while something's actually going on the screen. You can't even... It's like... you can't even really pause it. I mean, sure, you can pause it sometimes, but, well, you're not really gonna often pause.
Saying that, when you do tap the hand on the touchscreen, it will actually pause the game. So it does make it somewhat easier.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, basically the way the parkour works, like I'm trying to do a basic description of how the parkour works for the sake of, you know.
The parkour, okay, let me...
Basically, the way the parkour works, you have to keep...
cutscene, I love this one.
And the best way to do that... Yeah. This is actually one of the few good cutscenes in the game, in my opinion.
And for absolutely no explanation, some of them are in black shadows.
Suspense, I guess.
Yeah, except we can already see all their faces on the front cover, and not to mention all the marketing. I actually like Zaz.
Here. I love this part. This one reminded me so much of Adventures on the Hedgehog, mate. Oh, I love Roger's delivery of that line. I love it.
Yeah.
Are you disrespecting me? Maybe.
I have to admit, Zaz, I definitely love Zaz. It's like, well, his character is pretty much all I expected and then some.
I hope you enjoyed this cutscene, ladies and gentlemen, because this is pretty much the highlight of the story.
There are a few other good ones as well. But, yeah. In terms of Vizzetti, Zaz I outright love. He still came out good. Zomom actually surprised me by being smarter than he was led on to be, as we'll see in his cutscenes. And, well, Xena, of course. Well, I only really like her design. Otherwise, she kind of disappointed. Zik, I'm okay with. Was never really interested in that one. Zor's cool. Zavik's my favorite.
Yeah, Zor is actually, I will agree with that. Zor is my favorite Zeddy. I actually find his dialogue generally funny.
Well, hey, what else can you expect when you have Phoenix Wright voicing your Zeddy?
Alright.
We have so got to make sure that we have Apollo Justice around for that part.
Okay, now ladies and gentlemen, if Jovah will stop interrupting me, maybe I can actually explain the parkour system. Basically, the parkour system, you have to keep your momentum. How do you do this? Well, basically, you have to, first of all, you have to hold the R, the run button. If you don't, you're pretty much gonna fall. Matches does know that, by the way. You also have to keep switching walls. You have to keep jumping and to keep your momentum. You can also use the spin dash button to accelerate your momentum, but you can only do it once. So save that one time for when you really need it.
Yeah, basically.
In the 3DS version,
I'm sorry.
In the 3DS version, you can do do it infinitely. In fact, for as much as the 3DS version is worse than this one, I actually believe that the parkour system is better in the 3DS version. Like, for example, one thing that I love about the parkour system in the 3DS version is that you can spin dash into a wall and climb it that way. Like, if you spin dash into a wall, you will parkour to it according to the momentum of the spin dash. I wish that was in this game, because that would be...
Joe, you're probably going to be mad at this. Pedro, you're probably going to be mad at this. It's probably a glitch in the disc I got, but for some reason, on my Wii U version, I'm able to spin dash infinitely even while parkouring. It's probably a glitch because I don't think I've really seen anyone else been able to do that. Oh god, I hate those crawlers. But yeah.
Well, you can easily get rid of them with the kick.
Oh yes. In fact, that's one thing I do love about this game, the kick. In my opinion, it looks really cool, and it's also a neat way to completely dominate enemies in some goes. I don't know, just the thought of kicking into an enemy that, used to give you ulterior awful problems in past games is just so satisfying. And also, it works pretty well, for the most part anyway.
Here's my, I'll get into my problems with the kick in a moment. But first I would like to justify that death I just had. The problem is that when you're jumping with Sonic, if you touch a wall and you're not, holding the R button, like, Sonic will drop immediately, like a rock, downwards, and that's why I felt like it would, instead of the momentum completely switch, and it's just threw me off guard. It's just, ugh.
That reminds me, since we're talking about badly explained mechanics, the Astro Whip that Pedro was just using, folks, yeah, you're probably wondering why he didn't make some of those jumps. You see, what you have to do is apparently you have to gather enough rings to get the ring to expand large enough, which will apparently allow you to hold A to make a jump. Yeah, good luck figuring that out without an instruction manual. Granted, I figured it out with, experimentation, but that's just me. It's like, that one could have been explained so much better.
It's like Miyamoto said. Miyamoto actually talked about this. Games now, back in the old days, back in the 90s, we had to read instruction manuals to know how to play the game. But that was 20 years ago. Games nowadays have the full capability of teaching us its mechanics themselves, forcing the player to read
instructions
nowadays. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, this really disappointed me, because if there's one thing I love in games, it's boss battles. Boss battles are sometimes even my most favorite thing in games. And to have the Deadly Six capable of being taken down in 2 hits like that really ticked me off.
To be fair, the main reason why the bosses are, when I'm pretty much blasting for the bosses, is because I already know how the charged homing attack works. Which is not explained.
Well, even people who don't know how the charged homing attack pretty much can do it, because the charged homing attack is so automatic anyway. Well, granted,
not really, but we'll get to that when we get to Sky Road 4.
Well, I guess my qualm is that if you're going to give us a hard charged homing attack, why not give the bosses more hit points? Just saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You don't need to pad them out with more hit points.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, this is going to be pretty much this entire playthrough is. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can probably see from this part, entire playthrough is probably going to be basically a giant debate between me and Jovah. So I'll apologize for that.
Debate? If anything, we've moved more working in
tandem.
Apollo
just like.
Ladies and gentlemen, we promise we will try to let our co-commentators actually talk in the next part.
Yes.
See you next part, ladies and gentlemen.